dealing with the, I want to say it was a 2008 Cadillac. This is the one I have made quite a few videos on this. I swear, I just never look up the vehicle that I'm working on. That's vehicle ID. I don't know if that's gonna show me the. I did not know I could look up incomplete monitor readiness there. I don't know if it's gonna show the vehicle information. I think it's a 2008. Let me go back out. How about that? How about it's the no 2000. This is a 2000. I swear I thought it was newer than this. Hold on. Gosh, man, ain't that bright? I swear. I know it's another Cadillac I work on, the 2008. So this is the 2000 Cadillac. It's got the North Star engine in it. Now, it has a complaint of, he said the cruise control wasn't working, and the car has a jump. So let me show you that there's no codes present. If it's not jumping and there was no cruise control, then I'm like, okay, that would have been probably something related to the cruise control, like, well, a clock spring, something that causes one of the functions not to work. But these, because there's no check engine light, no codes, these not going to be synonymous. Sometimes what happened, like depending on if your check engine light's on, your cruise control function will work, you would have a code that will influence the drivability of it. So like take a Misfire. Misfire, since we're dealing with a Misfire, it's going to call the check engine light and it's going to deactivate the cruise control because there's, I just went there. Well, I can't talk and work because there's codes in the engine that has an influence on its ability to operate, and this is just one of the safety protocols probably that they program in it. So it's far and in between in a way. Okay, so we're dealing with cylinder number 4, and it'll jump. So 5 is kind of just showing some signs, but 4 was populating a lot more than any other cylinder. So when it populates, I'm going to do a snap throttle, and depending on how it responds to the snap throttle, depending on the direction I will go. And it's a jolt. It's a hard misfire that feels like a electrical impulse. I feel like there's arcing conditions, to be honest with you, because of how snappy the misfire is. It's not gradual, it's just instant. Let me see if I can get it to do it. So while that's happening, I don't think the cruise control function is correlated because we have no codes, but at the same time I'm going to drive the car, see if the cruise control function work. There's no airbag. There's no airbag light. But I do, it will be worthwhile going to the airbag. Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. I gotta get that glare off that screen. There you go. So cylinder 4. And it revs so smooth. Yeah. I gotta get this glare off. Sometimes what happens, the vehicle will misfire down low, and then when you snap throttle, it'll miss down low but clear up top. This doesn't do that. It clears up. So, there you go. Okay, a lot of the cylinders are misfiring now. Let's see if I can get it to do it again. This really seems like a spark plug problem. And number 4 just may be worse than all the other ones. But I don't know, it could be, still could be fuel related. The main thing I would do is go to what's obvious. You know, since it feels snappy, just go right to the ignition system. Yep, I can feel it, but it's not populating. There you go. So that's 4, that's 4 again. That's 4 again. Yep. I think this is ignition related. no doubt in my mind. And again, it's snappy. It's under low. It's under no load. Under RP. Hold on, I can't get it right. Under no load, low RPM, and it's misfiring. It's just a clear indication that because of the dwell time of the ignition system, it's just going to miss. It's just that lagging time gives it an opportunity to relax and go to the path of least resistance. And that's why I speculate that either there's a fault with the secondary or there's a primary fault. And these coils, this is a junction, so it's a monolith. So I'm gonna tackle that coil and then inspect that boot. Let's go into any other function. I did a complete scan and I didn't see, and it's getting more aggressive as a warm up. I don't think it's like a head gasket or anything. Let's do a complete scan. I don't think the ABS is going to have, not ABS, but I don't know how the cruise control work, if it has its own cruise control module or not. I'll see what my options are. I did not read any type of theory of operation, but I'm just going off of general knowledge of how influential misfires and check engine lights can be in regards to cruise control. And if we do have a cruise control module, let's see, rear integration module or amplifier, it probably may be integrated with the ABS. I'm just assuming. There was no fault codes in the ABS or anything. Don't know. Sometimes if I don't look up theory of operation, then I'll have to just, and it doesn't have a module itself. DRP, I don't know what DRP stand for. ABS traction control. Supplemental inflatable restraint dash integration module, rear climate, F amplifier, rear door module. Yeah, so okay. Not worried about that. Not worried about the integration module, climate, radio. Not worried about that. Instrument panel. Let's see what our options are. I don't know if there's a cruise control indication for the instrument cluster here. I don't know anything. Solar load, nope. Temperature, nope. Twilight photo cell, nope. So yeah, I think we're just gonna let me take it on a test drive and validate the complaint that the cruise control isn't working, and then I'll just address the misfire first, and then if anything address the cruise control problem. But while I'm doing that, what I'll do, look at wheel speed sensors, you know, go into the ABS. There's no codes here, but let's just check anyway, see if there's any codes in the ABS, because that does determine the wheel speed. That's probably where the cruise control is, I guess, and it works with the PCM. Control information. Let's just see what it says. So just give me everything. Yeah. Just type in cruise. No, I might need to go into the engine. I'll still look at these wheel speed sensors, and if there's a fault with that, then I can understand the cruise control maybe not working. So let me do my thing and we'll come back. More than likely we'll just address this misfire, and then I'll probably just have to make another video unless it's easy to repair this cruise control. I have to reverse engineer this data set here. So what I found cruise control was in engine data 3. I'm in the PCM. I went through each individual one, just typing in cruise, and there we go. So we got a cruise inhibit command. It's on. Let me just press the button here and push it off, see how it responds. I guess I gotta be going a particular speed for it to work. And the light's not illuminating. It still should, I'd imagine it still should activate. It just wouldn't give me the ability to control the speed unless I'm going a certain mile per hour. So likely there's probably something going on with this clock spring or just the button itself. I'm gonna watch this as I drive and see what happened, because if this light isn't illuminating, which it isn't, then obviously we got some problems with the button. Oh, there, okay, it came on one time. If I held it, the light came on, but it's not cruise control request, doesn't do anything. Maybe I need to drive a certain speed for it to give me the ability to enable that cruise control. All right, went on my test drive. My findings, even when cruising, cylinder 4 is still misfiring, so we're going to definitely investigate number 4. Pull the coil assembly out, inspect that, inspect the spark plug, and see what we come up. I really suspect there to be arcing, so like the boot may be defective. That's where my money is. But at the same time, it's not as aggressive as I like. So it could be something related to the spark plug, but it really feels like arcing. In regards to the cruise control, that inhibiting function, where is that joker at? What I did notice, after a certain speed, it would deactivate the inhibiting function. So the inhibiting function is commanded right now because it's idle. You can't. It's not going to grant you access. But once you start going over a certain speed, it'll relax that state, and it'll allow me to provide a request. But for some strange reason, I can't request the cruise control to work because I think the button's probably defective. So I'll look into that later. Just another context clue to what's going on. So the car recognizes its ability to do a cruise control function, but the mechanical ability, I guess my ability to go through the process of pushing a button so the car can acknowledge that I want the cruise control to function, is not there. So that's why I'm really thinking that button is defective. But I gotta figure out a way to test that. So I'm not gonna break my neck over it. So let's address this misfire first, because they're not synonymous, because there's no check engine light. And let's pull that coil assembly out and inspect that. So I need to find out where cylinder 4 is. If I get my camera focus, find out where cylinder 4 is, and pull that coil assembly out. That's it. Went on Identifix, found the firing order, which will let me know the bank that I have to deal with. The odd bank is going to be on the back. Front bank is going to be even. So the radiator sides here, this is going to be even numbers. This is going to be odd numbers. 2468, 1357. So I'm going to pull this cover off, and I should just only have to use a 10 millimeter. This hose is hot. Damn it, hold on one second. So we'll just pull those tins down here and these tins up here. I might have to pull the cover off. Yeah, pull the cover off too, because I can disconnect the connector. So this should be like a 13 or something. Lift that engine cover off, then I'll be able to pull those 10s, 2, 4, should be 6, 8 bolts, and then I'll be able to extract that coil assembly. So let's go ahead and knock that out. I have to put a bungee on this hose here. I might just do that. 13 millimeter. Pull it off. I had a customer come by just a second ago because thought she needed a starter or something. But you know, talking over the phone ain't the same of assessing the vehicle in real life. But you know, and the bad thing about having a lot of clients is essentially not having them anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah, the one guy, this is probably not really recommended, but I'm gonna hook this up to the fuel rail. It's nice, it'll hold itself. Hook it up there. Yeah, the problem with having customers is not having them anymore. Meaning, you know, they kicked the bucket on you. I was wondering why I haven't seen the guy in a while. I'm like, yeah, he passed away way back in April. I'm like, oh, that explains it. I did a video. I had rebuilt one of the engines now for a Toyota Camry. I want to say, no, I didn't do a video on that one. I don't think I did. I think I did. Again, I got 400 videos out there. I can't remember some of the videos that I do. But I know one of them I had some problems out of that I rebuilt, but this one didn't. And that was his engine. Engine still looks fantastic. But yeah, the guy's no longer here. But he had a lot of health problems though. Both legs amputated, obesity, kidney issues, you know. Yeah, so it's important to take care of ourselves. Go to the gym. But I have so many clients, man. And I always wonder, like, man, did I do something wrong? Why I haven't seen him in a while? And it's not me. It's just natural selection. Yeah. It's kind of depressing. Oh, I need to take that lock off. It happens. All right, let's see if we can take this back off of here. Maybe I can go another way. This hose. There we go. Pull that off. So let's do this. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Now, inspecting the coil assembly, you're not going to notice anything. So let's just go ahead and pull the boot. Inspect that. A lot of times what I look for is white pitting, which will usually be a sign of arcing. See what we got on number 4, since that's our trouble child. This is the secondary side. And I'm wrong, it seems. So what's next? Let's pull the plug out inspect that and see what that looks like. All right, viewer discretion is advised here. All right, let's see what our plug looks like. I need a paper towel because I don't want to burn myself. Here we go. We have AC Delco plugs in here. Let's look at the gap. Magnet down. Porcelain looks fine. Sometimes they look like little black marks, but that's, I don't think that's where it was arcing from. It's not. It's usually like a dot, like a speck. Plugs are okay. They're not horrible. It's burning very well inside that combustion chamber. I like the white soot. It's no soot buildup. It's a white color. It's not black. It's not fouled. It's not red, and meaning that it was hot. One thing I can do: swap plugs. See if the misfire follows another cylinder. Like I could swap this and the boot with number 2 and see what happens. But being that this coil assembly is aftermarket, that's where my problem I feel is going to lie. It's not going to be an injector, again, because of how influential the misfire is, like how aggressive it is. You feel it. I'm not going to sit there and say it's a fuel injector. Usually, since injectors still emit fuel, it's going to be more prolonged miss versus an instant miss and a correction. So let's indicate the plug and the boot and swap them with the neighboring cylinder. So here's the yellow mark there. That's going to be 4. Let's put 4 right there. So we're going to take the spring and everything, make sure your spring's in there, and just move it on over to the next cylinder. Here's number 2. Looks better than 4. That plug is hot. You can see some compression seeping through the plug here. I mean, that is a sign of age, that flash bang. That's not a clear indication that it's bad, but it's a sign of age. And I know you don't like that. I know that could damage the plug. This engine does need valve cover gaskets too. So we're gonna go with 4 here. That's our marked one. I'm gonna take 2, put it over here with number 2 plug. I'm gonna flip this coil assembly back over. Now it's going. Oh shoot! I'll just put a couple screws in the coil tower there, just to hold it in place. I did not start it by hand by any means. We'll start up and look at the data, see if it changes. If it stays on the same cylinder, I'm simply just going to replace that ignition coil assembly. All right, came from my test drive, and I have not had any more issues since, for the exception of like one incremental moment where cylinder 4 showed itself to be a potential sign of weakness and missing. But it only misfired. It counted like 4, and that was it. Never seen it since. Car drove smoothly, drove about 15 miles, never had any issues. Unlike the initial test drive, before I touched anything, it was hesitating while I was driving. Idle, it had misfires. Driving had misfires. Now, because I swapped the plugs, swapped 4 plug and the boot to number 2, hasn't had it since, except for that one blip where they had like 4 misfires, and that was it. Never happened. That was while I was sitting here idling after I transitioned everything over. So I'm not going to break my neck over it. There's possibly other tests I could have ran to test the state of health with the ignition coils. But again, if based off of what I felt, it was seemingly a boot issue. That's what it felt like. Because if it had a harder misfire that was more consistent, I would have been like, oh yeah, let's replace this coil assembly. But it hasn't. Maybe during installation, something happened when the guy put it in there. It could be a thing of thermal expansion. Like if I put all the screws or the bolts back in there and it gets hot and then it starts acting up. But it's working fine now. Could have been the head of the spark plug on number 4. But this issue still was kind of isolated to number 4. It didn't move to 2. It stayed with 4 looking at the PID data. So I'm not going to break my neck over this misfire, and sometimes diagnosing things are like that. I didn't spend any money. Having to diagnose this is just the time having to assess it. And it's fine. If anything happened with this issue, I'll definitely update. But what I will do, since I found it out that the computer's not controlling the cruise control, I'm going to pull some wiring diagrams, make an assessment of this, see what's going on with this, and I should dish a video out as far as diagnosing the cruise control module here, and go from there. So, shucks, the misfire came back. I'll try to get the camera on here because I thought it wasn't. Let's see if it's on cylinder 4. I put it in reverse to go test something else, and then the misfire is here. Let's see if it's on cylinder 4. Yep, look at that, it's going crazy. Awesome. So it took a while for it to start acting up again, even after swapping the ignition components. So I'm just going to get us a brand new ignition coil module and call it a day, and we'll retest this. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to change the coil, which is fine. So I really think it was like a thermal expansion kind of thing because of how it was braced, and then on top of that, it just caused things to compress and respond negatively. So, I do have a brand new one. Y'all know I frequently patronize O'Reilly's. I have such a bittersweet relationship, and I do have a standard product. Hopefully this lasts pretty long. But it honestly looked like what I'm pulling out now. It looks exactly the same. Damn, that's hot. I'm gonna tell you what's really messed up though. Because for what I paid for this, I had expectations of it coming with with coil boots, and it didn't, which was just crazy. So the average person would wound up paying about $220 for an ignition module that come with practically, well, it just come with the, it's just a coil. That's it. See if I can get that right there. This lock. So I'd imagine what I paid, I will be getting a lot more bang for my buck. I got everything. No, I'm missing one. Forgot one at the bottom. So unfortunately, this coil cost about $220 is what the average person will pay going into the store. The unfortunate part is it don't come with any boots. It literally just comes bare like that. The part I got is identical, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's with a standard product also. Because this box doesn't mean it's new, it looks new. It looks unused. Let's pull that off. It's the old one. So we swapped the boots. And Misfire still persisted, unless this got some mechanical problems, which I highly doubt. I think we're in the green. Everything's put back together. The only thing to do is just let it run and idle, because that's the biggest test, is the heat. Letting that heat build up and seeing how it's going to respond. Let's see what it sounds like. Well, so far it sounds good. And it's been running for about 3 seconds. So the only thing, I'm just going to let it run, let it heat soak for a while. I still got to diagnose that, and I'm doing another video for that. So let me let it do its thing, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes. Car been running for several minutes, about 15 minutes. Hasn't had a hiccup yet. I'm very satisfied with this repair. I just hope that the standard product actually lasts a while, unlike the last one that looked like I just literally pulled off. But I did notice the Master Pro is a black color. This is the standard is this gray color. Oh, likely just is probably what I pulled off. I had to look and find out, but it looks identical. Hey, but if anything happened, I'll definitely update. Hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, how to reach some work. I'll see you on the next one.